We're flipping some flapjacks out there, ladies and gentlemen. Not a bad day for the public count here today, up $44,000. Certainly not the best day, but in this market that's been very shaky the past few months, we'll take what we can get out there for some gains. Very exciting weekend this weekend. I did go ahead and get the keys to my new house, and I took this picture for you guys from the backyard. It's built on a mountain. It overlooks the whole city. I can't wait to show you guys, but I'm not moving in for a while, and the reason being is I got a bunch of projects to get done at that house. Here now that we closed on the home. So exciting times. I'm definitely looking forward to getting in there, but that will be still a bit of time from now. Okay. Alrighty, guys, in this video here today, a lot to go through. We're going to go through 7 stocks to buy and hold forever. This is a Warren Buffett inspired video. If you know Buffett and his investing philosophy, he usually thinks about companies that he wants to invest in for decades or potentially take it to the grave type stocks, right? And so I thought about it and I try to say, what are the 7 stocks in the stock market that I feel comfortable could provide amazing returns over decades, right? And you don't have to sell them. So they have amazing, let's call it amazing moats around the business, right? And so that's what we're about to get into in this video here today. I hope you guys get a lot of value out of it, not just from knowing these 7 stocks, but why? What is it about these companies' business models that can make them relevant decades from now, right? I appreciate y'all for joining me. I hope you appreciate all the time I took for doing this one for you guys here today. I've been prepping this video for a lot of hours. Let's just put it that way, okay? And I've also put so much time into thinking, what are the 7 stocks to buy and hold forever that are in the stock market? Because there's thousands of stocks, okay? So I found the 7 best ones. All I need from you guys, just please smash that like button if you haven't already. That lets me know you enjoy a video like this. Additionally, make sure you're subscribed here to the channel. If you enjoy a video like this, you want to see more videos like this or my other videos on the channel, make sure you're subscribed. Higher probability YouTube will show you my videos in the future, just as the sign says in my garage. Hit the subscribe button, smash the like button. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, number 1 of these 7 stocks is Amazon, otherwise known as Amazingzon around these parts. This stock has provided a 173,000% return over time. Absolutely incredible company, and it's at a discount right now. Now, what makes Amazon's business model so amazing to hold forever, right, the rest of your life, basically, is the e-commerce opportunity. This is not going away. This is just getting bigger in terms of people getting used to getting things delivered to their home, right? And when it comes to Amazon, they have the best selection, most of the time at the best prices, and they've just gotten everybody so used to going to Amazon to order things, whether it's on your app, which is on your phone, right, which I certainly do, or whether it's actually going to Amazon.com on your computer. And, this is my go-to. If I need anything nowadays at this point in time, if a light bulb goes bad and I need a light bulb, the first place I go, Amazon. Let's order a new light bulb, right? If I don't know what type of light bulb it is, I take a picture of it through Amazon's little AI thing, and it tells me, oh, you need to order this light bulb, right? And it's gotten to the point where just about anything I can think of now, I'm go to Amazon to order it, right? So the e-commerce opportunity continues to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and that business will be incredibly profitable as the years tick on. And they really have no competition in this market, just to be quite frank. Lots of companies try to sell things online, but at the end of the day, there's a one-stop shop if you want to look for anything and get it delivered to your house. And Amazon is the winner chicken dinner by a mile in this market, right? From there, they have their AWS business. This is a cloud business, and when you think about the backbone of companies and the internet, just to be quite frank, really the cloud is where it all happens, and AWS is the biggest player in the cloud market, and they have a dominant market share there as well. Microsoft has a very successful business, obviously, in this market with Azure. Google Cloud does as well, and there's a bunch of smaller players. So there's no doubt it's a competitive market, but so it was in e-commerce, and at the end of the day, Amazon won that, and Amazon is winning when it comes to AWS as well. Look for likely accelerating growth rates in this business over time. Now, additionally, when we think about the ads business, this is a business that a lot of people don't talk about or think about, but the ads business just passed $68 billion in annual ad revenue. Now, this is incredible because Amazon has so many people going to Amazon.com all the time, right, in the Amazon app, that they now have a great ability to serve up ads to those individuals, right, to make a bunch of money off that. And if you know anything about the advertising business, it's straight profit business, right? Now, additionally, they're buying up more and more content. That can mean even sports rights and other things that basically helps them boost up that ad business as well, which, if we think about that over the next many decades, it should get bigger and bigger and bigger, right? This is Amazon's revenue over the past several years. We're looking at 1000xstocks.com here. I mean, it's incredible, right? It's just consistent growth. The biggest question for Amazon is, what are the growth rates per year? Are we talking 7%, 10%, 12%, 15%, or more toward 20%? Now, additionally, the net margins of this company are still very low. They're kind of in the 10%ish range for net margins. Long term, I think Amazon will be a 20% plus net margin company, but that's long term. We're talking 2030s into the 2040s, right? But there's a lot of room to grow that net margin. And keep in mind, Amazon's going to hit $1 trillion plus in annual revenue here in the next few years. Start running a 20% net income margin on $1 trillion plus revenue business, and you can start doing several $100 billion a year in net income. Incredible numbers, right? Now, additionally, here's what's really exciting about Amazon. You're getting it at a huge discount right now. This is historical PE ratios for Amazon just over the past few years. I could back it up way further, and you'll see the historical PE ratio for Amazon was incredibly high. Right now, you're getting the stock dirt cheap on a PE ratio basis. It doesn't happen often, so take advantage. Additionally, operating cash flow continues to build to new all-time highs for this company as well, right? Now, they're spending a ton of that cash flow, which is making their free cash flow not look that good right now because they're spending that on the AI opportunity. But Amazon's spending so heavily there because AI should help their e-commerce business accelerate, serve you up different products, ads, things like that will make you buy more things, right? Which will make companies more money and want to spend more ad dollars with Amazon. Think about that. It's like a perfect cycle for Amazon. So it's very important Amazon gets AI right, and they're spending a fortune on it. Additionally, the AWS side of the business. That's the biggest opportunity for AWS for Amazon when it comes to spending on AI and spending on AI infrastructure. If they can be the company to go to for your AI backend and all things related to AI and Bedrock there, I mean, my gosh, that's an incredible opportunity for this company over the coming years. So that eats up their free cash flow for right now. But Amazon, listen, Amazon has cycles, and then I'm about to show you my projections for Amazon over the next several years, essentially. But listen, Amazon has a history of spending incredible amounts of money. People question it at the time. Like, why are they spending this much? I don't know about this. This happened with the e-commerce business as they built out massive amounts of warehouses and they bought up vehicles and they got fleets of vehicles to start doing their delivery and went away from just having UPS and the other companies deliver all their products, right? People are like, I don't know about this. And they start buying airplanes. People are like, I don't know about this. And then they spend so much money on AWS over the years and people are like, I don't know about this cloud thing. Like, is it really going to be that big? Is it going to be that profitable? Is it going to be that meaningful? They're spending so much. There's a lot of questions. Now they're spending a fortune on AI. A lot of people are like, why are they spending this much? I don't get it, right? Amazon has a history of a massive spend cycle, followed by then huge revenue ramp, followed by then huge profit ramp. And don't be surprised if they execute on this once again, right? And remember, you're thinking about these companies not just for the next year or two, right? You're thinking about these companies, we're talking about long-term companies. We're thinking about these for decades to go in the future. Look at this. This is my base case. This is just what I expect for Amazon over the coming years. 12% revenue growth per year, 26 to 29. 18% net income growth, 26 to 29. 33 to 38 PE ratio because Amazon's got growth for decades to go in the future, right? That gives me a compounded annual growth rate on the low end of 22% and on the high end 28% with not a high risk stock here. So Amazon's an incredible opportunity. That's why I want to feature it number one here today out of these 7 stocks. It's one you can buy and hold forever, right? Now, I'm showing you guys a lot of things on 1000xstocks.com here. If you want access to 1000xstocks.com, click the pinned comment down there today, the first pinned comment, and you can apply to join my private group. That will also give you access, full access to the premium software at 1000xstocks.com that I use on a daily basis. It also gives you access to my entire library of premium courses. Become a Master of Stock Market, Millionaire Playbook, Stock Options Mastery, Dividend Investing Mastery, Financial Statements Mastery, and How to Run Valuations Properly, the Valuations Mastery. Also gives you full access to exclusive weekly videos and my Discord chat with, we have 3,000 plus members in there. So many folks with multi-6 figures, 7 figures, 8-figure investors in there. 50K net worth minimum to apply to join us in there. And we'll send you your Steel membership cards when you join us in there. Second pinned comment down there today. I'm putting, because since this video was inspired by Warren Buffett, I'm putting 2 free books for you guys. That will be the second pinned comment. This one is Warren Buffett, The Art of Compounding. Goes into key lessons on how Warren Buffett built his wealth over the years. And you'll find out a lot of things that you probably didn't even know about Warren Buffett and how he did it. And we did one on Peter Lynch as well. Power of Common Sense. You're going to learn so much from those books. It's going to be incredible. It's literally free to access that. That'll be the second pinned comment down there. You can click on that, and we'll send it over either via email or via text, however you want to receive it there, and enjoy those and learn a lot, okay? Alrighty, guys, let's get into the second one of these stocks, and it is SoFi Technologies. This is a $17 stock here today. It's up 60% from its IPO. Now, what makes SoFi pretty amazing is this company is not just a one-trick pony. They got one product that's successful. No. This is the go-to platform for a lot of millennials and especially a lot of Gen Z when it comes to banking, personal loans, credit scores, investing through SoFi, mortgages, student loan refinancing, even credit card offers, all those sorts of things, right? And this company has made a great early customer base, I would call it, for their company. Now, they've already reached pretty big scale, but if you compare them versus, let's say, like Bank of America, Wells Fargo, JP Morgan, they're still small when it comes to those guys, but they're eating up market share year after year when it comes to grabbing new members, right? And they're really mobile focused first, which is a genius strategy. Now, this shows you SoFi's revenues over the past several years, right? 2020, $750 million, then to $1 billion of revenue, $1.7 billion of revenue, $2.9 billion of revenue, $3.7 billion of revenue, and last year, $4.7 billion of revenue. One of the amazing things SoFi does, and Anthony Noto does, who's running this company, is they don't always take the risk on loans. A lot of times they'll sell off their loan portfolios to other companies, and those companies can then take the risk for that. And so Anthony Noto is trying to keep the company as asset light as possible and to be more of a, let's call it a little bit more of, I would almost describe them a little bit more as a fintech than just traditional banking, right? Now, Anthony Noto is doing a great job running the company. He's positioned the company for the next several decades. It's not like he's just thinking about, positioning them for this year or next year or something like that. He's positioned the company for the next several decades. Because when you acquire somebody in the banking space, you can keep that person many times for life as a customer, right? Now, company right now, $22 billion market cap on this company. Think about somebody like a JP Morgan, $771 billion market cap. Now, SoFi is not going from a $22 billion market cap to $770 billion tomorrow. But if we think about the next 10, 20 years, does SoFi have that sort of ability? I think they do. It'll be brick by brick, and they'll keep building, but I think they can pull that off, right? Now, I challenge you to find out more about SoFi. Listen to the conference calls of this company. You can do that right through 1000xstock.com. You go to the earnings call tab. You type in whatever ticker symbol you want. We do an AI transcript for you. We also have the regular transcripts for you. And we have the conference calls, and you can listen to them at whatever speed you want. You want 2x speed, listen to 2x speed, or 1.5x, whatever you want to do there, okay? Listen to the SoFi conference calls, learn more about the company, understand the philosophies, the process, how they're acquiring members, all those sorts of things. I think those conference calls are amazing. Alrighty, guys, number 3 of these 7 stocks up here today to buy and hold forever is Meta Platforms. This one is about a 1,400% since they went IPO about, we can call almost 15 years ago or so now at this point in time. Now, when it comes to Meta, keep in mind, this is my number 1 biggest investment in the public count. I'm up 539% on it, and this is a position that's worth $627,000. My public count, I show it many times in videos. The private group gets to track every single move in there. Remember, I talked about the private group over there. They get to see every single move, every single buy and sell I do in that portfolio every single week, right? And so for that portfolio, it's very important I don't make mistakes and I get it right? Because it's known publicly. And so when I have a company like Meta and feel comfortable having it as my biggest position, it speaks volumes about that specific company, right? Now, when it comes to Meta, the incredible thing about this company is 3 billion plus users on Instagram, 3 billion plus users on WhatsApp, 3 billion plus users on Facebook. They also have Messenger, which is right around 1 billion users, roughly, ballpark. And then they have Threads, which they started, Threads is probably only maybe a year or 2 years old now at this point in time. It's kind of a bit of a ex-competitor. And that's up to, from my understanding, 400 million plus monthly active users now at this point in time. So they've really dominate, like messaging, the internet in general, right? Now, the thing with Meta is it's very attractively priced. It's not like you're having to pay some crazy P's for this company, despite it has very strong growth rates. Forward P in the stock somewhere around 20. That's extremely fair for one of the best income statement, balance sheets, cash flows in the game. Come on, man. That's a steal deal. Now, companies spending huge money on CapEx right now. They're another one of these that's spending huge on AI opportunity. They're already starting to make a lot of money from this. And the reason is with AI, they're basically being able to show people more relevant posts that they're interested in, which makes them spend more time on the apps and share more and those sorts of things, right? Now, additionally, if time spent on the apps goes up, right, that gives them ability to show you more ads, so they can show you more ads, right? Additionally, they're also using AI to get the advertisers to get better ad spend, so they're not showing the ads to people that won't buy. You don't want to be showing ads to somebody for a product they're not going to buy, right? That's no bueno in regards to that. And so from several different fronts, they're using AI and already generating the revenue, and that's why you're seeing their revenue blast higher. I mean, their revenue recently has been up in the mid-20s. For a company that's as big and established as Meta, you wouldn't be thinking they're growing revenues in the mid-20s, but they are. And a lot of it has to do with AI, right? So look past the big ad spend, or the big tech spend right now. They're spending a fortune, I know, but you got to look past it. And remember, this video today, we're talking about stocks that you can buy and hold for life. Take them to the grave type stocks, right? So this is a short-term phenomenon that's going on in the business. You got to look past this. Next, this is very important. This is one of the most underrated things with Meta. Listen, Mark Zuckerberg, CEO of this company, right? He seems very committed to continue to lead Meta and continue to build this company for at least the next, I would think at least the next decade, if not the next several decades, right? He's 41 years old. That's insanely young. For a CEO, that's very, very young. So he's got a long runway if he wants to continue to lead this company. Think about somebody like Elon Musk. Elon's 54, right? Think about where Meta is going to be 13 years from now. Jeff Bezos, he's no longer the CEO of Amazon. He stepped away from being the CEO years ago. But from my understanding, he's still very involved with Amazon. So do keep that in mind. Jeff Bezos is 62 years old. And what about the GOAT? Big Buffett. He's 95 years old. So when you're buying into Meta, you're buying a gentleman with Mark Zuckerberg leading this company who has proven time and time again that he's a genius. Like, it's unbelievable. Like, think about where he started from that dorm room, starting Facebook, right? And then think about how many times Facebook had to pivot. Like, the Facebook you see today, dramatically different than the Facebook even 7 years ago, dramatically different than the Facebook you saw 7 years before that. Like, they've made tons of changes on that platform over time. Same thing with Instagram. I remember the first time I ever used Instagram, I can't remember what year that was. It might have been 2012 or 2013 or something like that. I remember the first time I used Instagram, like, it's nothing like it is today. Like, there was no Instagram stories back then, which is one of the biggest features on Instagram. There was no Instagram Reels back then. I can't even remember I don't even think they had messaging in Instagram back then. I can't 100% remember, but I do remember using it in like 2012, 2013. I was living in a one-bedroom apartment, and I used to try to save on internet. So I used to steal people's internet back then. A lot of people who wouldn't use passcodes. And then the other thing I used to do is I used to go down to the community center at the apartment office, and they had internet down there. So I used to have this like iPod, I think it was called an iPod Touch. And I remember I downloaded Instagram because I heard a lot of talk about it. And I was also researching Meta at this time because I bought Meta at that time. That was like $19 a share, right? Because it crashed and went IPO, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, let me look at this Instagram thing. It might have been 2013, sometime around then. And it was just crazy. Like, I just remember using it, and it was just like pictures of like nature and stuff like that. Like, it was just like random stuff. And like somebody took a picture of a building, and like, oh, somebody took a picture in the forest. And that's what Instagram was back then. You think about Instagram now, you go on there, it's like a whole different dealio, right? I'm sure there was that differences in WhatsApp over time. So the company's consistently pivoted, found other features, other apps, different things to do. They figure it out, man. And so just understand, when you're thinking about a company to buy for decades, you got to be trusting in that CEO. Next one up here, number 4 of these 7 stocks. This one might be the most controversial of the bunch. And you know why? Because the stock hasn't done well recently. That's how it always works, right? The next one, I tell you, this one's a great one to hold long term. Great one. Nike. 30,000% gainer all time on this stock. Number 4 of 10. Just do it, I call it. It's a $54 stock as of today. Okay. Not a lot of people understand what makes Nike so special, right? So what I'm showing you right now is Lululemon, from the highs it reached a few years ago when the brand was at peak. And since that time, Lululemon's lost almost 70% of its value. Lululemon built a brand on nothing. They fall into the same trap that company after company falls into. They build a brand on nothing. Lululemon, very successful yoga pants. That's not going to cut it long term. I'm sorry. Companies are going to copy your clothing, your apparel, and you're going to be odd man out, right? And so doesn't mean you can't have an existing company, but you can't be insane levels of 30,000% gains all time when you're a company that you build your brand on nothing, right? Look at Under Armour. They haven't been able to successfully build their brand over time, right? It's never felt like it really stood for anything. And you look at Under Armour since this company went IPO back in 2016, the stock price is down 85%. It still exists. You can go buy Under Armour clothes today. You can go buy Lululemon. You can go buy any brand. Or some do go bankrupt. But usually they can stick around. Nike doesn't just stick around. Their bad times are companies' like dreams of their best times, right? The amount of money Nike spends decade after decade, year after year on the brand of Nike is incredible. They're always focused on product innovation as well, which keeps them at the forefront of new technologies, right? I'm wearing my O1s right now. The technology is incredible in these. The O2s, if you know about these, they're incredible, right? But the brand, that's what's the biggest thing at Nike. You can innovate all day, right? Nike can spend fortunes on R&D. If you don't have a great brand, it's going to mean nothing in the end. And Nike spends more heavily on great athletes and the biggest sports in the world to always think of Nike as success, and that keeps them successful decade after decade after decade after decade. Like Nike's still going to be way more relevant 20 years from now than it was 20 years ago or than it is today, right? And so that's what makes Nike really, really special. Now, additionally, when it comes to Nike, it's about a 3% dividend yield on the stock as of right now, right? That dividend is small compared to what that dividend is going to be 10 years from now, 20 years from now. Can you imagine what their dividend is going to be in the future versus now, right? And so all these other brands in the clothing space, in the athletic space, they come and they go, right? All of a sudden there's a new brand. Oh, it's popping off. Like recently it's been Aloe and Viore. I can already see it. The brands stand for nothing. 5 years from now, 7 years from now, they'll probably exist, but it won't even be relevant, right? And guess what? Nike in 5 years from now, 7 years from now is going to be way more relevant than it even is today around the globe. And that's because Nike does something no one else does. And they invest ridiculous sums of money right back into their brand again and again and again, nonstop. It's like a non-negotiable with the company. And that keeps them successful and relevant decade after decade after decade. And so that marketing spend is incredible. And it's just a force you can't compete with because no other company really wants to spend like that. And no other company, honestly, can spend like that because you're not doing $40-50 billion a year in revenue like Nike is and successful around the globe. And so they're a one of one. They're literally a one of one. You have if you look at all the companies in the clothing space, you have one company to buy, and that's Nike. You have another company you could buy, but it's not really a clothing company. It's more of an accessory company, and that's LVMH, Louis Vuitton. Louis Vuitton really understands branding very high, but keep in mind, Nike sells to everybody. Louis Vuitton obviously spends to high-income earners, the wealthy, and maybe people that want to look rich but aren't rich, right? So anyways, you don't have a lot of options in this space. There's very few companies that really understand branding and really understand you got to spend crazy money to stay relevant year after year, decade after decade. Phil Knight got that culture in this company a long time ago, right? Alrighty, guys, number 5 of these 7 stocks to buy and hold forever is Elf Beauty. This stock that has returned 206% all time. Elf Beauty, cosmetics company. The thing you got to understand about Elf Beauty, and why it's a great company to hold long term, is they've now reached, I would call it, critical mass in the makeup industry. Go to your local Walmart and go look at the makeup aisle. I know 90% of the people that watch my channel, or 88%, I think it is. I think it's down to 88% of the people that watch my channel are men. You're gonna probably feel weird walking around the Walmart makeup area, right? Or the Target makeup area. Do it. And you're going to see, oh, Elf is like a big player now. Like they got major shelf space. And the incredible thing about Elf is they're known as having really good quality products, but for very cheap prices. Like you look at most of the Elf products you're going to find at Walmart, Target, almost all of them are under $15, and many of them are under $10. Some even under $5 or around that $5 price point. So they're going to give you, like the customer base at Elf understands it's going to be good quality products that are marketed well and ultimately are very affordable. And so that's what makes Elf really incredible in the makeup and beauty space. And guess what? I think people are still going to wear makeup and still do skincare routines 10 years from now. And I think they're going to probably do that in 20 years from now, and 30 years from now, and 40 years from now, and 50 years from now, right? Till AI takes us over. Then we're all done. No, this is Elf's revenue over the last number of years. So 2020, $280 million of revenue, then $310 million of revenue, $390 million of revenue, $570 million of revenue. They cracked $1 billion plus in 2024, and then the past year, $1.31 billion of revenue for this company. They're also very well diversified now. They're not just counting on Elf's brand only. They now own Naturium, which is very successful in the skincare space, and now they also own Rhode, which is Hailey Bieber's company, which is a force to be reckoned with in the makeup industry, and watch out for them over the next 3 to 5 years. Oh my gosh. So it's not like you're just counting on the Elf brand. They now are kind of, I would almost look at them as like a conglomerate of very successful makeup and skincare brands now at this point in time. And keep in mind, these products are much higher margin than most industries, right? Now, Elf, this is a stock I've owned for years. Bought this stock in the public count way back in February 27th, 2019. And, still holding it to this day. And there's been a lot of ups and downs for Elf over the years, right? But there's a lot more ups than downs. And this is a stock I've been buying heavily in other portfolios as well. So I haven't bought any more in the public count because I actually was buying a lot of Estee Lauder and I already have a position here. But I own several $100,000 more of Elf shares that I bought in the past couple of years in other portfolios as well. And I look at this as it's $73, steal deal, right? Steal deal. Anything under 100 you can get your hands on with Elf, buy it up, buy it up, buy it up, right? These are my projections for Elf Beauty. I'm looking at 1000xstocks.com under the intermediate projections. We also have the advanced projections if you really want to go crazy with it. But here's my base case for Elf. 23% revenue growth on average. This year, they're going to have a huge bump up in net income because, a lot of one-offs are going away. And then after that, I have them doing 20% net income growth on average, right? 30, 35P. If you got those sorts of growth rates, you can command a 30, 35P in this space. And we're talking about, I get a CAGR here of around 30%. So, Elf is a steal deal. Right now, it's going to likely produce great returns over the next 3 to 5 years, but we're thinking about holding the stock for decades, right? I think Elf's going to be a pretty darn good one to hold for decades and decades to go in the future, right? Alrighty, guys, next one up here, number 6 of 7, is Celsius Holdings. CELH is a ticker symbol on this one. It's a $43 stock. So Celsius, probably if we go back 7 years ago, right? Oh gosh, did I just do that? Celsius, no one heard of the company, right? Now you go in, now it's hilarious. If I drive by almost every convenience store or just any store in general, it seems like they have Celsius signs all over. It's like they want everybody to know, we sell Celsius here, right? And Celsius is now a big dog brand. They've now reached critical mass, and it's very important you reach that as a drink brand. If you stay niche, it's a tough space to be in. You got to get critical mass. And now Celsius has critical mass, and they're continuing to build the business aggressively in the United States. But the international opportunity for Celsius over the next number of years is insane for this company. Now, I know this space very well because years ago, I used to be invested in a company named Hansen's Natural Beverage, which nowadays is known as Monster, right? And with Hansen's Natural Beverage, I got to see how they expanded Monster in the United States over time, how sometimes they would go lower margins, so they'd do promos on Monster to take market share, and then they would, kind of lay off the promos once they had a good customer base, come in with better margin. I saw the way they expanded internationally, and I see Celsius doing a very similar strategy here that I think is genius. Now, they also own this brand called Alani. This brand's been growing like a beast the past 2 or 3 years. This is a brand probably no one heard of 3 years ago. And now, once again, there's another brand that you're starting to go in these stores, and there's displays of this Alani everywhere, and they're selling like crazy. I was at Costco just yesterday, and they had several different pallets of Alani, and they were doing numbers. The Ghost, They had Ghost Energy right next to it. It looked like no one was buying Ghost. And yet the Alani big cases, they were, let's just call it, worked down. And so Alani's a brand that continues to build out. And I feel like Alani's not quite at critical mass like Celsius is, but it's not that far away. And if Alani keeps building over this next couple of years, they're going to be right where Celsius is at, where they're going to be at critical mass. And once you reach there, then it's just about maintaining your brand relevance, and you can just put up great numbers year in and year out because you got a very loyal, great, dedicated customer base. Now, additionally, they just acquired Rockstar Energy from Pepsi. This was a very successful energy drink brand, but then they got sold to Pepsi about 6 years ago. These companies like Coca-Cola and Pepsi don't know how to run energy drink brands. Coca-Cola tried it many times, and then they just finally gave up, and they partnered with Monster. And now Pepsi did a similar strategy over the past year or two, and they realized, let's just get ownership of Celsius. They passed over Rockstar to Celsius now at this point in time. And so Pepsi is also a major owner of Celsius, and that makes for a great stock for years to go in the future, because I don't think, ladies and gentlemen, listen, I don't think Pepsi wants to sell Celsius shares anytime soon, because they look at that as a great opportunity to build their investment profile over the next number of years. And additionally, Pepsi's also a big distributor of Celsius. They're the big distributor of Celsius now at this point in time in their different products. So it makes sense that Pepsi's going to want in on the success of Celsius. So if Celsius goes from a $40 stock to a $400 stock over the next decade, I think Pepsi wants the upside of that, right? And so they're going to likely remain a major shareholder for, probably honestly decades to go in the future. I think the only way I could see them selling it off is in a scenario where Pepsi or Coca-Cola ever got desperate for money, and that's probably not happening, right? So the moral of the story is, because Coca-Cola owns a huge ownership of Monster. So anyways, now when it comes to this company, listen, if you think about holding a company for decades, drink companies are great ones to do, right? Coca-Cola has been an incredible investment over the last, 40, 50, 60 years. Pepsi has as well. Monster has as well, right? Now, Coca-Cola and Pepsi over the past decade haven't been as exciting of investments. And the reason being is it's just hard for those businesses are so big. It's hard for them to really grow, right? In the soda category, which is much of their business, it's tough to grow that business anymore, right? And so those companies aren't necessarily great investments nowadays when it comes to Coke and Pepsi. They are from the perspective of safety. But the exciting thing for a company like Celsius is it's still in that major growth stage, but it's also, I think, got a lot of protection around it because their brands are reaching critical mass. Celsius is already there, and Alani's probably going to be there, like I said, probably within, honestly, 24 months now at this point in time. Now, when it comes to Celsius, $11 billion market cap on this stock. And think about the revenue opportunity over the coming years for Celsius, the margin opportunity for Celsius, and the profit opportunity for Celsius is immense. Celsius is a major position for me in the public count, up $76,000 on it so far, up 78%. Do I have any ambition to sell any of these 4,000 shares in the public count of Celsius? Absolutely not. I would love to hold this for years to go in the future. No interest in selling Celsius, because Celsius, the way I look at this one, insane growth for the next 5-7 years. And then I think after that, they'll start coming in with big dividends, right? And so then I'll be sitting on all these shares and start receiving a bunch of dividend money as well. I like it. I like it a lot. And I'll be able to take that dividend money, invest it into other companies at that particular time that I find as attractive stocks. Grow, never getting scarcity mentality. Always be in abundance, ladies and gentlemen. Number 7 of these 7 stocks that you can buy and hold forever is Winning Resorts. Wynn Resorts on this one, ticker symbol WYNN. This stock has given a return of 674% all time. That does not include all the dividends this company's paid out over time, right? Now, when it comes to Wynn, they have their incredible properties, Wynn and Encore. I was just down there on Saturday. I took my 2 oldest boys for lunch at Allegro. You might have gone there before at the Wynn in Vegas. And man, it was insane how busy it was. Insane how busy it was. We went there probably around 11, 12 o'clock. Nuts. We went to Topgolf after. That was fun. And then they have 2 properties in Old Macau, very profitable properties. They have a Boston property in which they operate. They sold off the building and the land to another company, but they still operate that property. Then they have this beast, the Wynn Palace. I call it the last great building that Steve Wynn built, which is in the kind of newer part of the Cotai Strip of Macau. And they have their Middle East building. The Middle East building is kind of an old picture here. This is an update. So obviously that looks like a building that's going to be ready to open in 2027, right? This building, by the way, not as nearly as beautiful as other buildings. Other buildings are masterpieces, but part of the reason, in my belief, is keep in mind this particular building, they're only going to have a 40% equity interest in this particular project, right? So just something to kind of keep in mind there. But you got to ask yourself, why do people go to the Wynn in Encore? They have so many other places you can gamble, right? You can gamble so many different places. Look at the Strip. Like, there's no shortage of, like, why do people with big money, you got to ask yourself, why do they go there out of all the options they have? Because, one, it's the place to go. Like, it's just where the big money's at, where the celebrities are at. It's the place that you're going to get the best service, right? It's the cleanest, it's the nicest, the best food, the best clubs, the best everything. The best women. You want the best women, go to the Wynn too. Like, it's got the best everything. So if you got big money and you're into having some fun and you want to go to Vegas, you want to go to Macau, and soon in the Middle East, you're going to go to the Wynn and Encore if you're a big player. And so that's just how it is. And so that's a company I can feel comfortable investing into for decades to go in the future. Because guess what? People are still going to want to gamble 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now, right? And if they want to do it at the best establishments in the world, they're still going to do it at the Wynn properties, right? They're still going to want to eat at high-end restaurants. They're still going to want to go to nightclubs and all those different things, right? Like, none of that stuff really changes. Like, we can go back to the 1980s. Guess what rich people like to do in the 1980s, right? We're in 2026. Guess what rich people like to do in the 1980s? Well, we're not going to get into everything they like to do in the 1980s, okay? But guess what? They like to go to great restaurants. They like to gamble. They like to party. Guess what they like to do in 2026? Stay at really nice places, eat at really nice restaurants, gamble. The same stuff. Decade after decade after decade, folks. So anyways, those are the 7 companies up there today. Hope you guys like this video. I hope you like these stocks. And if you don't, that's fine. I'll be the one to buy them all up, okay? I appreciate you for joining me. Thanks so much for being here, folks. Hope you got a lot of value out of this one here today. If you're looking to apply, join Private Stock Group, Private Wealth Group, take your investing game up to a much higher level than where you're at right now. Get access to all of my premium courses, access to my private Discord chat, access to 1000xstocks.com. I showed you a lot of 1000xstocks.com in this video, but there's a lot more to it than what I even showed you here today. That's going to be the main pinned comment down there. Click on that, fill the form, see if we can get you access in there. Maybe in the next week or two. Maybe. We'll see. And then, once again, second pinned comment down there is you want the Warren Buffett, Peter Lynch book. I think you'll learn a lot from those books. Okay. Appreciate you. Much love as always. Have a great day.